Welcome to the channel, guys. My name is Matt Garvey. We are here to talk about making comics today, and in this week's videos we are going to be discussing the things that you need to speak to your artist collaborators about before production actually begins on your comics. And welcome back to the channel, guys. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Matt Garvey and I'm a comic creator from the UK. Over the last 3 or 4 months or so, I've been sharing my comic making process from start to finish. So if this is your first time to the channel, don't forget to hit that like, share and subscribe button and ring that bell so you don't miss out on any of my comic making content. And yes, you heard me right at the start of this video. I'm not going to be dropping just one video this week. I'm actually going to be dropping a series of videos every day at 5 o'clock UK time. And there is a method to my madness. And the reason for this is, yes, there is information in this video that everyone should know, but there's information in this video that a lot of people may already know. So depending on where you are in your comic making journey, I thought rather than have you sit through like a 25-30 minute video just to get those 3 or 4 minutes that you may actually need, I thought if I break them up, at least then you can dip into the videos that you actually want to know more about. But then if you are a beginner in your comic making journey, then you can watch them all because I'll put them in a playlist together. So that's the reason for my madness. And what I'm going to be doing is, this is the only one that's going to have an intro, so this will be the longest one. All the other videos this week are we're just going to go straight into them, so part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4 and part 5 to hopefully speed up the process and not waste anyone's time. So this is what we're going to do today, and so let's start. Okay, so part 1, we are here to talk about the format of your comic. And I know this is going to sound crazy, but if you are the writer of your comic and you are hiring an artist, a letterer, a colour and so forth, you need to remember that not only are you the writer of that book, but you are also the project manager. It is your job to speak to those other people within your team, have good communication skills to push this project forward to completion. And your first job as project manager is to let your artist collaborator know which format you intend this book to be printed in. Because I know that sounds like a really crazy thing, but you cannot just assume that your artist is going to do your comic in in a US standard comic size, because there are a plethora of different comic sizes that comics get made in. And if maybe you're working with an international artist and US standard size might not be the norm for them, or on the other hand, you may have a different vision for the way you want your comic to be printed in. You may want to go for like a DC Black Label size square book, or you may be looking at like a TKO bigger size. So it's good to get this out in the open before. Just have a little chat with your artist and say, this is how I intend the comic to look, and if you could work to the parameters of US standard size, that kind of thing. What I've done is in the description below, I've broken down the different sizes, so you can have a look, think about what you want your comic to be printed in, and then you can obviously discuss that with your artist moving forward, so there's no misunderstandings. And the other good reason to talk about format ahead of time is you need to let your artist collaborator know what your intended plan for this comic is going to be in the long run. Are you planning to do individual issues, 4 or 5 of these and that's it, or are you going to plan to put them together in a big old graphic novel and collect them all together? And the reason why this is important is because the way these are produced and the way these are produced are very, very different. As I said before on this channel, individual issues are done by what's called saddle stitch, where all the pages are put together, folded over, and then it's 2 staples, and then it's folded, boom, and you've got your first comic. But if you're doing a graphic novel, or if you're doing your 200-page opus, it's not going to be produced like that. What happens is it's done by what's called perfect binding, where all the pages are actually put into the cover and they're actually glued in. And the reason why this is important, because when your artist collaborator is setting up their pages, they will all automatically put their their 3mm bleed for anything that's going to get chopped off by the printer, when they make sure that everything's like perfect and square. But there's also this little area here. This is the blue area, and this is where stuff may get lost, especially when you're looking at a comic, a graphic novel type comic, because as you'll see, the pages actually kind of go towards each other. So you need to make sure that nothing important, no lettering, nothing it's integral to the story is going to go in that area so it doesn't get lost. So what I've done is I've created the template for you guys. It's going to be in the folder, which there's a link in the description, and have a look at it and just have a look how a comic page is set up, and you can make sure that nothing is lost. So as I said, communication is key when working with your artist collaborators, because if they know what the vision is, they can make sure that this comic is going to be perfect for you.